In this video, I'm going to share with you some basic tips about Yacon and how to grow it. So what you see here are Yacon crowns, and this is what you want to purchase for planting. Yacon crowns, they look a lot like young or fresh ginger. You want to space them out at least 4 to 5 feet. You want to give them even more space than you would give dahlias. And the reason for that is that Yacon plants are very vigorous growers. They're very large plants. They can reach up to 6 or 7 feet tall. You want to give them enough space for them to produce nice, big tubers. Make sure you're planting individual crowns and not a cluster of them, because when you pulled out the Yacon, when you harvest your tubers at the end of the season, you're going to get a lot of crowns on that same plant, and it's a bunch of little rosettes all over on the base of the stems and right before the tubers growing down below. And you want to separate them and you want to space them out, because if you plant them all together in a cluster, what's going to happen is you're going to get an entanglement of a lot of small tubers at the end of the season. So you're not going to get the nice big tubers that are easy to peel that you can use in the kitchen. So you want to space them out. You want to cut the little fragments, and each fragment is a bulb. So think about it as a rosette. You don't want to cut those into little pieces, but you want to make sure you're planting a nice round rosette or a piece of crown that has multiple growth points, because each growth point is going to turn into a stem. And when you get in the mail, you understand usually sellers, they are going to split it into different individual units, and you want to plant those units. When you get your crowns in the mail, you want to plant them right away. The ideal scenario is when you get them in the mail, you inspect them to make sure they are nice and healthy, and then you want to put them in soil so they start growing. One of the main reasons why you want to plant your Yacon crowns as soon as possible is because they naturally tend to mold. If you're going to store them for long periods of time, you're risking losing the crowns to molding. When you get the crowns in the mail, my suggestion is that you put them in soil right away. You want to put them in damp soil, and you want to plant them just below the surface, so with enough soil on top to cover the crown completely, but not bury it so deep that they're going to rot. And that should stimulate growth, and new shoots will start to come out of the soil fairly soon. Yacon is a very slow grower at first, so you can easily keep the plants indoors. If you live in a cold climate where there is winter, heavy winters or heavy frost, you can keep them growing indoors for up to 6 to almost 10 weeks, because at the beginning, the plants are going to be vigorous. You're going to see that they are nice and robust, but they're going to be very slow to start taking off. Once summer gets here, early spring, when the temperature starts to go above 50 consistently, you are past beyond the danger of frost, then you can bring them outside, and you can see that they're very slow to develop, but once the heat of the summer kicks in, then they really take off, and that's when you're going to see a lot of the large, vigorous growth. Yacon is very tolerant to different soil conditions. But in my experience, the best way to grow really large tubers is to give it a lot of food. And by that, I mean a lot of compost, a lot of organic material, and good watering. And I'm going to ask you for a favor. Please be generous with your comments, because YouTube is paying attention to engagement. So if you're getting value out of this video, please take the time to leave me a comment. Let me know if you have any questions. I get to 100% of the questions that people post. The Yacon plant tends to be drought tolerant, so you can grow it in places like California, but very similar to a dahlia. For nice growth, robust tubers, you want to do a lot of deep watering. You want to select for large tubers because they're easier to handle in the kitchen. Yacon tends to oxidate very quickly once it's out of the ground. So once you start peeling the tubers, they're going to go black very easily, just like an apple. But with Yacon, the process of oxidation is actually faster. So you want to get nice big tubers without any curves or deformation, so they're easy to peel, and then you can either sprinkle them with lemon juice or put them in a bowl with water to prevent air contact. That's one of the reasons why you want to really amp up your fertility program for this particular plant, so you get nice big tubers. But it all starts with the seed, with the crowns that you're gonna buy. So make sure you're purchasing crowns that come from a variety of yacon that is gonna give you very nice large tubers.